Lightning, the Book of Resistance, Part 4, Earth's Crisis. It's your boy, Dane Diddy.
Ambitious Ace.
So we got a goodie this week.
Yeah.
A real good goodie episode.
Pleasantly surprised.
So, do we start with Jen or do we just...
We can start from the beginning.
Like the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, start from the beginning.
No, she was blogging. So I guess we are starting with Jen.
Yeah.
I like the way they cut that. You can clearly see that they actually used the video from the blog. My whole thing was like, first off, don't nobody use that app on their computer.
Nah, don't nobody do that?
Nah, nobody does that.
I think it would be kind of tedious walking around with a MacBook or a laptop.
Nah, I see people do it all day at work.
But recording?
Nah, not recording.
Okay,
but just like carrying a laptop with one hand, walking around.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Skype or something.
Yeah.
But not the Apple.
The
Apple app for recording. But I thought it was an interesting take on, like, you know, her journaling. You know, that's what it came across. I know it was like a letter to Anissa, but it also seemed like it was like
the whole 333 thing, waking up. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, man. So, but aside from that, everything else that happened in the episode, I will say the one thing that did seem kind of weird was the structure of everything. So, like, you know, first off, I got really upset, and I had to fix myself because I wanted to ask you this question. So, there's a time when Henderson calls Blackbird, right? Because he called Blackbird, right?
Yes.
And then Jefferson starts talking, right?
Yes.
And then Lynn walks up and says, "No, Jefferson." And I was just like, wouldn't that let...
He on phone, man. He don't got it on speakerphone. Don't worry. Stuff happens.
No, Anissa was yelling.
Huh?
Anissa was yelling.
Stuff happens.
So, because he said, because his response was, "I can't come right now. I'm dealing with something."
Yeah.
Don't you think that would hint Henderson off that Anissa, or does Henderson already know about Anissa?
I'm pretty sure he knows.
About the kids?
I
don't know if Black Lightning told Henderson.
We might have to go back and look, but I think he knows.
About the kids.
I mean, come on. If he knows about Black Lightning, he can put two and two together.
Will he?
I don't remember if that was developed or not, so you do propose a good question. I don't know if that's a loose thread that...
I mean, Lynn might have been high.
Continue.
Speaking of Lynn being high, how did you feel about her in the room cooking up in a green-looking version of their kitchen?
Listen, y'all. Lynn is getting on my nerves. I get it. She's doing what she's supposed to do because of the writers, but the writers are writing Lynn horribly.
Every DC show has to have that one character that you're supposed to like absolutely hate at some point in the show. Like for Arrow, for me, it was Laurel. Now I'm sitting here debating, like, do I hate?
Well, because remember
in
season 1 we hated Lynn, but then she kind of redeemed herself by the end of it, and then season 2 began, and we're just like, oh, we hate Lynn again, and then she kind of redeemed herself a little bit. So this time it's just like, nah, not come back for me.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with Jennifer though, So Jefferson had to go. They didn't really show any of that. They showed like a brief discussion at the beginning of the episode, but aside from that, everything else was pretty much taking place from Jen.
Yeah, they showed, briefly, the whole thing about the news, getting out to the wrong place or the wrong information and everything like that. And then... So
obviously all that stuff they uploaded still got stopped and
then finally, Anissa told somebody about Khalil. She told her
the way
dad
she
first.
Casually did it, though.
Yeah, it was just kind of lackluster. Like, I saw Khalil. What?
Yeah,
we put him in the ground. We were there, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
It was a little frustrating because I'm just like, I would expect a little bit more shock.
Yeah.
You know, so didn't get the shock that I was expecting, and it was like she casually brought it up too. It wasn't like it was just like, yo, Dad, I saw Khalil. It's just like, while we're talking about this situation, I'll just mention the fact that I saw Khalil.
Yeah.
And then it got brought up later on in the episode, and I didn't really like the response that we got from Gamby or Lynn. But I do want to say that China shined on this episode.
She was the standout on this episode, bar none. I feel like her acting was phenomenal. because I'm trying to think how many times. I mean, we've seen Laurel, how she acts differently. We've seen, I
Horrible.
guess, Oliver a couple times as well. A couple characters in the Arrowverse, but I think that she really made this pop, and I think it's in thanks to the writers as well, because the way they proposed the situation was really, really, really dope. How they used Crisis for the show's benefit. Like they didn't just say, "Oh, we're gonna make Black Lightning work with Crisis. We're gonna make Crisis work for us." You know what I'm saying? So
I don't want to give it that much credit yet because the way they come out of this also is going to be
true, true,
important.
true. And we haven't seen part 3 yet at the time of this recording, so we don't know if they wrapped up anything Black Lightning wise in Crisis episode 3. But
We need your lightning.
but I will say that I really like the fact that she got to see what would happen per se if she went down this route or this route.
Yeah.
So I really love how they handled that, and it gave her really time to show her acting chops, especially with the crying scenes. Like, man, I was just
she was generating them tears slow, and they wasn't in abundance enough. But aside from that though,
yeah,
I still feel like she killed it.
yeah,
The scene with her and Anissa was letting them flow. Like
yeah. I feel you.
she was
Yeah.
like you can tell they're really.
She was
close.
talking like it wasn't like they were generating through facial expressions. It was just falling. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But Jen on this episode, like she killed it. Like I felt her emotion throughout. Like you said, I love the focus on she wanted to lose her powers, so you have the part of her that lost her powers.
Yeah.
And then you have the one that's working with Odell, but she goes overboard for working with Odell to the point where she kills her dad, her mom.
Yeah.
I thought that was whack how she killed him though.
Well,
Like,
before
just 'cause
we got to
they-
rewind back though. Why we have to get to revelation? We knew Odell was alive, but he just.
I mean, yeah.
But I'm just like he just pops up on the TV screen
Of course.
out of his bed,
Of
sitting on the
course.
chair.
Of course.
I'm just like, yo, we couldn't get no kind of explanation.
So
Like-
my whole thing was, she's home because you're watching.
yeah,
Are you listening to the house too?
I don't know.
Because you just so happened to call right when she was about to go see her sister.
Yeah.
So
Because he
or
did.
have they ever established that? Like I,
mean,
know
he
they're
did
watching, but are
he
they
did Make
listening?
the comment, you're gonna have to choose a side, so choose wisely. So
Because
that
I
hit
felt
me.
like that back in season 1 in the season 2 when we found out he had the house bug. I felt like he heard them talking.
Maybe
at the
he's
dinner
been
table.
listening to everything. Maybe he's not oblivious to anything. He might even know about Henderson, because Henderson's been to the house, so he should know. I just thought about that. He should know about the resistance. So I don't know about that, but
As soon as Henderson and the church dude left the room, Dad. I'm like,
hey, they were comfortable, man.
stuff just happens, right?
But I will want to nitpick on one thing though. As much as I love the whole Jen dynamic this episode, I do feel like if she was resonating with her other selves, there should have been more Jens there. But I get it.
I think, but haven't they only been doing like 3 Supermans and
yeah,
like 3
but
versions of each character?
but still, there's multiple Earths. There's like 99 of them or whatever. And
Don't
I'm not
nobody
saying
wanna see that,
I'm
though.
not saying that you got to go through each one's story, but in that little black room, I think it should have been like multiple Jens or something like that.
That would cost too much money.
Well, still, they could have did it. They
They
could
could've.
have. They could have been just going crazy or phasing in and out, and the 2 ones that focused on the episode were the one that were completely there. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it was more effective the way they did it because they focus on the outcomes that she.
Well, yeah.
thought she
I'm not
wanted.
saying that. I'm just saying from a standpoint where if she's really part of the matter or whatever the science they was making of it, that she would see more of herself. But the ones that they needed to focus on would be the only one that she focused on. It's a minor nitpick. Just,
But she killed that whole scene
Yeah.
where she was talking to herself and
bro,
like,
the
oh,
editing,
so you the woke one,
the editing on that
And we
was
sleep.
phenomenal.
and she slapped her like, bitch,
She slept.
bitch, you must have lost your mind. Like I laughed.
It was
like,
believable.
As soon as she said that,
Yes.
I share and I shared it.
Meme, all that for real.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that part, that's when I sent it to my wife because I'm like, oh man, this is about to be
It
good.
was good, man. I really loved she gave, like, it wasn't just this was Gen 2, this Gen 3. Like, they were all their own. You could tell they lived their own lives and everything like that. So it came across really believable. So that's why I enjoyed it.
Uh,
How did you think about seeing? I guess, I mean, we only got to see what Jeff, the family, and Odell. Odell didn't really change much,
no,
so we didn't really get to see no other different counterparts.
no,
Yeah,
and that's what I was just about to say.
yeah,
I have a very big disappointment with this episode.
yeah.
That's 2 episodes with no Tobias. Almost
We
like
could have got a nice Tobias or something, like
it's
a
like
good
3
Tobias.
ain't it like 3 or 4 episodes with no Lala?
Yeah, we ain't seen Lala since he came back.
I'd rather see Tobias than watch Black Lightning be mixed up with whatever Flash and Arrow got going on. I'm sorry. Tobias is that good.
Tobias too good for the Arrowverse, man.
Wouldn't it be dope though? The way if Arrow died because Tobias harpooned his ass over to his desk and crushed his face in.
Oh, well, damn. Hey, that's one way.
He
to
got to
go.
harpoon him though.
I think Tobias would be too real for the villains. Like Tobias will walk in and just talk shit about the villains.
Because apparently in the comic books, after some of the crime bosses get knocked out of Gotham, he goes and takes over Gotham as the main crime boss.
Oh, so what you saying? Tobias needs to go over to Batwoman City?
After seeing her show for the first time yesterday, absolutely not.
Hey, but yeah, no Tobias this episode, no Lala, and now we have a break.
Hope not, but I hopefully not. Hopefully no break, but we may be on the brink of a break until January.
Let me ask you this question: Do you think this episode did anything to make viewers who are not into the Arrowverse want to get interested?
I feel like people that aren't watching the show, because I've had a couple people at work mention like, "Yo, man, you heard about this Crisis on Earth thing? It's like 5 episodes across all the shows." So I feel like it is bringing more eyes. We'll see overall. I feel like it put more eyes on Black Lightning because you have people that watch only one of the shows that feel like they need to watch the other shows. Because it worked for us. We haven't watched Supergirl since season 1. And I don't even know we finished season 1. And we haven't touched it since. And so when we turned it on, we turned it on because it's connected to the Crisis.
Yeah.
And it's not like we didn't like the character. We
Yeah.
just was like, we watching too many shows. We can nix that one.
Yeah,
That's
most
just one of
definitely.
the shows we can get rid of.
Yeah.
Flash just got too confusing
Yeah.
and too annoying, always fighting speedsters. It's like, come on, let's do something else. And then just the fact that he never learns.
Yeah.
Every episode is a lesson, but he don't ever learn nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
And Arrow just got boring just because it's just too much of the same stuff. They kept going back to the island, kept saying the same stuff. It's my fault, my fault, my fault. I learned everything is my fault, and then it's my fault. You know what I'm saying? So it is putting eyes on, gonna have to check out Legends. All of these shows, I'm going to give them a try just because I'm trying to follow the Crisis thing.
Legends
but I
is
really
wild.
am at the point where I'm just like, I don't care.
Legends has its sparks to it. They be doing a whole bunch of goofy things.
Well, we
on
watched
Legends.
the first season.
Oh, yeah,
of
the first season was
Legends,
good.
And the first season was good. I heard second season was really
I'm just saying,
good.
Legends don't take itself too seriously, and I think that's why people like it. And that's what I'm saying. It's just very loosely based. Because, here they are in the Crisis, on the Crisis, and they in there drinking and talking and stuff like that. So, but I think it probably got some viewers interested. But if I was a regular Black Lightning viewer, I don't think I would have been too thrilled to see to be continued in Crisis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I wasn't so excited about the crossover because I knew it was just going to be a one-off thing, and I don't know how much inclusion Black Lightning would have into it. But maybe it'll turn out to be a good thing. Maybe if people follow and watch Crisis Episode 3, they will get interested. But
What day does Flash normally come on?
I believe it's Tuesdays. I think it's right with Black Lightning.
You're right, it is. It
Yeah.
comes on right before it, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, man.
That's
Nothing
about
else,
it.
right? Yeah.
I mean, I guess we got to wait till it comes back.
Yeah. So, moral of the story, China is a beast.
Yeah, yeah.
That whole fight she did with herself looked good.
Yeah.
It looked better than that fight that we saw in the first episode of Crisis. We should have had the people of Crisis holler at the people of Black Lightning
Most
with them
definitely.
CGI effects.
Most definitely, yes.
And we want Tobias and Lala back. Don't make us start getting picket fences and picket signs and start writing up stuff, writing letters.
It'll be alright, y'all. What did y'all think about the crisis effect?
Yeah, I think it's
curious to
trash
know.
so far. The only episode that's been good to me.
Oh,
is
I'm
the
not
Black
saying
Lightning
crisis as a
episode.
whole. I'm just saying
Oh.
crisis effect on Black Lightning. Do you think it was? I mean, I'm 50-50. I love what it did for the show, but I already know the outcome of this. The Earth is going to be restored, and they're going to be merged somehow, and that's it.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.